Hello viewers, you are welcome to my YouTube channel Botany. In this episode, I'm going to deal with an interesting topic, quest for spices, a historical journey. The spice trade is a global phenomenon. The spice trade dates back to thousands of years with ancient civilizations like Egyptians, Greeks, and Romans using spices in their cuisine, medicine, and religious rituals. The quest for spices was a driving force behind much of the European exploration and trade during 15th and 16th centuries. These aromatic and flavorful substances were highly valued in the world for both culinary and medicinal purposes. European traders sought to establish direct access to spice-producing regions in Asia, bypassing the traditional overland routes controlled by the Middle Eastern and Ottoman empires. This led to the famous voyages of explorers like Christopher Columbus and Vasco da Gama, who sought to find new sea routes to the east. The quest for spices led to the discovery of new lands, cultures, and trade routes. It also had a profound impact on global economy.
Contents of this video are value of the spices, prominent spices and their places of origin, spice trade routes in ancient times, role of key civilizations in spice trade, the age of exploration, major explorers and discoveries, triangular trade network, impact of spice trade, and spice trade today.
Value of spices. It includes flavor enhancement, economic value, medicinal value, and cultural value. With a reference to flavor enhancement, spices add depth, complexity, and unique flavors to the dishes. They can transform simple ingredients into culinary masterpieces. Some spices, such as cloves and cinnamon, have a natural preservative properties that can help to extend the shelf life of food. The spices have been a major driving force in global trade for centuries. Their value and scarcity have led to the establishment of trade routes and exploration of new lands. The spices trade has generated significant wealth for individuals, merchants, and nations. Many cultures have used spices as traditional remedies for various ailments. Some spices have been shown to have medicinal properties like anti-inflammatory, antioxidant, and digestive benefits. In some cultures, spices have been associated with status and prestige. Their possession or use can be a sign of wealth and social standing. Spices are often used in religious ceremonies and rituals, symbolizing purity, offerings, or spiritual connections. Now, some of the common spices and their places of origin are black pepper, that is Piper nigrum, place of origin, India, Indonesia, Vietnam. Cinnamon, Cinnamomum xylanicum, Sri Lanka, Indonesia, and Vietnam. Cloves, Syzygium aromaticum, Indonesia, Madagascar, Tanzania. Nutmeg, Myristica fragrans, Indonesia, Grenada, Malaysia. Saffron, Crocus sativus, Iran, Spain, Greece. Turmeric, Curcuma longa, India, China, Indonesia. Ginger, Gingiber officinale, India, China, Jamaica. cardamom, Elitaria cardamomum, India, Guatemala, Tanzania. Cumin, Cuminum civinum, Egypt, Iran, and India. And lastly, coriander, Coriandrum sativum, Egypt, Iran, and India. The major spice trade routes in ancient times. There are two main routes, overland route and maritime routes. The overland includes Silk Road. This ancient network of trade route stretched from China to Mediterranean Sea, passing through Central Asia and Middle East. While primarily known for the trade of silk, spices were also transported along this route. Trans-Saharan trade route. This route is connected North Africa and West Africa, facilitating the exchange of goods, including spices, across the Sahara Desert. The maritime routes includes Indian Ocean trade route. This route connected India, Southeast Asia, Middle East, and the East Africa. It was a major hub for spice trade, with ships carrying spices from India and Southeast Asia to other regions. Mediterranean trade route. This route connected various Mediterranean ports, including Alexandria and Rome. Spices from the east were often transported along this route to reach European markets. The Red Sea route. This route connected the Red Sea to the Mediterranean Sea, serving as a key link for spice trade between East Africa and Europe. The role of key civilizations in the spice trade includes Romans, Arabs, and Chinese. The Romans were major consumers of spices, importing them from various parts of the Mediterranean and beyond. Spices were often considered luxury items in Roman society, and their possession was seen as a sign of wealth and status. The Romans established a vast network of trade routes for the distribution of spices throughout the empire. Arab traders played a crucial role as intermediaries in spice trade, connecting producers in Asia with the consumers in Europe and Africa. Arab merchants developed extensive trade networks including Silk Road and the Indian Ocean trade route. Arab traders introduced new spices and culinary techniques to different regions, contributing to the development of diverse cuisines. China was a major producer of spices like cinnamon, ginger, and star anise. The Chinese were instrumental in development of Silk Road, a major trade route that facilitated the exchange of spices and other goods between China and the West. Navigation and shipbuilding contributed to the expansion of maritime trade and the exploration of new spice-producing regions. The Age of Exploration was a period of European history spanning the 15th to 17th centuries, characterized by a surge of maritime exploration and colonization. Driven by the combination of factors including economic gain, religious zeal, and scientific curiosity, European powers embarked on voyages of discovery to distant lands. Europeans sought new routes to Asia, particularly India and China, to bypass the Ottoman Empire's control over the traditional trade routes. They hoped to find gold, spice, and other valuable commodities. The desire for these commodities was a primary motivation for the exploration. The European powers sought to establish trade routes and colonies to secure access to these resources. The Renaissance sparked renewed interest in knowledge and exploration. European explorers sought to expand their understanding of the world and discover new lands and the people. The desire to spread Christianity to new lands was a powerful motivator for many explorers, especially those sponsored by Catholic monarchs like Spain and Portugal. The improvements in shipping and navigation tools enabled voyagers for safe voyages. The Renaissance fostered a spirit of inquiry and exploration, encouraging Europeans to learn about the world beyond their borders. These are some notable explorers who played a significant role in the quest for spices. First, Christopher Columbus. This Italian explorer, sailing for Spain, embarked on several voyages across the Atlantic Ocean in search of westward route to Asia and the Spice Islands. While he did not reach Asia, his voyages led to the discovery of America. Vasco da Gama, a Portuguese explorer, successfully navigated Cape of Good Hope, rounding Africa and reaching India in 1498. This opened up new sea route to East and Spice Island. Ferdinand Magellan, a Portuguese explorer sailing for Spain, Magellan led the first expedition to circumnavigate the globe. While he did not survive the journey, his crew completed it, proving the earth was round. Sir Francis Drake, an English private explorer, Drake sailed around the world in the late 16th century. He plundered Spanish galleons carrying treasure from the Americas, including spices. Abel Tasman, a Dutch explorer, Tasman discovered Tasmania and New Zealand while searching for a southern route to Asia and the Spice Islands. These are just a few examples of the many explorers who contributed to the quest for spices and expansion of European trade networks. The spice trade, a triangular trade network. The spice trade triangle was a triangular trade route that connected Europe, Africa, and America during the colonial era. It was a system of trade where European ships transported manufactured goods to Africa, exchanged them for enslaved Africans, and then transported to the enslaved people to the America to work in the plantations. The raw materials produced on these plantations, such as sugar, tobacco, and cotton, were then shipped back to the Europe to be processed and sold. The three legs of the triangle were Europe to Africa. European ships transported manufactured goods such as textiles, firearms, and alcohol to Africa in exchange for enslaved people. Then second level is Africa to America. Enslaved Africans were transported across the Atlantic Ocean to the Americas, where they were forced to work on plantations. And the third one is America to Europe. Raw materials produced on plantations in the Americas such as sugar, tobacco, and cotton were shipped back to Europe to be processed and sold. The age of exploration was a pivotal period in human history, shaping the course of the global events and leaving a lost legacy that continues to influence the world today. The age exploration had profound impact on global history, like colonization, wealth creation, economic growth, scientific discoveries, globalization, religious and spiritual influence, and exchange of diseases. The desire for spices was a major driving force behind European colonialism. European powers established colonies in spice-producing regions, leading to the exploitation of local resources and populations. The trade in spices generated significant wealth for merchants, traders, and kingdoms. Spices were often highly valuable commodity, and their trade contributed to the prosperity of many civilizations. The demand for their spice fueled economic growth in the regions involved in the spice trade. New cities and trading centers developed along the major spice routes, stimulating economic activity and prosperity. The spice trade facilitated the exchange of goods, ideas, and cultures between the different regions. Spices were often introduced to the new cultures, influencing their cuisines and traditions. The explorers made significant scientific discoveries, such as mapping new lands, studying indigenous cultures, and collecting specimens of plants and animals. The age of exploration marked the beginning of more interconnected world. As European powers established trade networks and colonies across the globe, the spice trade helped to create global connection and networks, fostering sense of interconnectedness among the different civilizations. The spices were often used in religious ceremonies and rituals, and their trade contributed to the spread of religions, beliefs, and practices. The exchange of diseases like smallpox, measles, and influenza were introduced to the America, leading to widespread death of the populations. Some diseases like syphilis were also introduced to Europe from America. The spice trade remains a significant global industry with a wide range of species being produced, traded, and consumed worldwide. While the dynamic of the trade have evolved over time, spices continue to play a vital role in the culinary, medicinal, and cultural landscape of various societies. The key trends in the modern spice trade includes globalization. The spice trade has become increasingly globalized, with the spices being sourced from a traded to various regions of the world. Diversification: the range of species available for expanded, with new and exotic species being introduced to the global market. Sustainability: there is a growing emphasis on sustainable spice production, with efforts being made to protect biodiversity and reduce the environmental impact of spice cultivation. Then organic spices. Organic spices are being increasingly popular as consumers seek natural and environmental friendly products. Then ethnic cuisines. The growing popularity of ethnic cuisines has driven demand for specific spices associated with these culinary traditions. Health and wellness. Many species are recognized for their potential health benefits, leading to increased demand for spices used in traditional medicine and natural remedies.